I thought I was alone in the woods, but turned out I was not. My mom died a few weeks ago, so I needed to get away. Just clear my head and be alone for a while. I drove out to a forest I'd camped in before. No tourists, no rangers, just miles of trees. It was perfect. Or at least, it should have been. By the time I set up camp, the sun had dipped low behind the trees, painting the sky in streaks of orange and purple. The fire crackled, the air was cool, and for the first time in weeks I could breathe. The silence was thick, pressing in from all sides. It should have been peaceful, but something felt off. The woods were too still, like they were holding their breath. Then, a sound. A sharp, sudden snap, a branch breaking under something heavy. I froze, ears straining. The wind? No. An animal? Maybe. But it felt wrong. Heavier than a deer, more deliberate. My body stayed rigid even as I tried to convince myself it was nothing. Then another crack, this time from behind me. I spun, pulse pounding. The fire flickered, shadows stretching between the trees. Nothing moved. But then I saw them. Footprints in the dirt, leading towards me, but none leading away. My stomach twisted. Someone had been standing there, watching. But where were they now? A shape shifted at the tree line, tall, unmoving. My breath hitched as I realized it wasn't a trick of the light. Then, it moved. Not toward me, around me, circling, slow, careful, staying just beyond the fire's glow, like it knew exactly how far it could go without being seen. My throat was dry. My fingers tightened around the knife in my pocket. My heartbeat was deafening. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't some lost hiker. Someone was out there, and they were playing with me. Panic surged, and I bolted for my tent. My hands fumbled with the zipper as I yanked it closed behind me, sealing myself inside. My breath came too fast, too shallow. I clenched the knife, willing my body to stop shaking. Silence, then snap, closer this time. Then came the breathing. Slow, ragged inhales just inches from my tent wall. Each breath deliberate, deep, like whoever was out there was taking in my scent. Then something pressed against the fabric. Fingers, dragging, testing, pressing inward, stretching the thin material between us. The air inside grew suffocating. The fingers slid downward, tracing along the tent's curve. Then they pushed in harder, like they were mapping the shape of my body inside. My mind screamed at me to run, to fight, to do something, but I couldn't move. Then, the fingers withdrew. The absence of pressure sent nausea rolling through me. I strained my ears, listening. Nothing. Minutes crawled by. My lungs burned from holding my breath. I had to know if they were still there. Hands shaking, I reached for the zipper, yanked it down in one motion. The fire burned low. No one was there. No footprints near my tent. But something else was wrong. My backpack was open, and sitting neatly on top of my things. My car key. Ice crawled through my veins. I hadn't taken it out. Someone had been inside my tent while I was in there. Someone had gone through my things. Subscribe and comment for part 2.